And for the next presentation, we have another question that is posed. And the question is your supply chain future ready for the new normal? And to give this presentation and to maybe answer that question, we have Mark Lau, and Mark is the Chief Commercial Officer at TVS Supply Chain Solutions. So Mark Lau, you're here. Okay, Mark, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. First of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow logistics professionals. I must say it's good to be back, right? Good to be back in a physical event, right? Say cheers to that. And really, relationship, I think relationship is built on interactions, physical face-to-face interactions. There's just so much you can do digitally. Having said that, the topic I have today is your supply chain ready for the new normal? It's meant to be a bit provocative, and I think it kind of resonates well with the discussion in the early part of today. So I'm glad to have 20 minutes of your time to talk about this between now and lunch. So I'll keep it short, sharp, and perhaps provide you some food for thoughts. Oops, I think I forgot the clicker. Oh, is it? Oh, thanks. Yeah, so our presentation, my presentation today is split into 3 sections. I think just a short introduction about TVS SCS before I move on to really talk about the impact of the pandemic on our supply chain, and then finally, some of our response to those new normal supply chain impacts. Right. TVS Supply Chain Solutions, we are part of the TVS Group, which is a MNC conglomerate, headquarters in India, where we are a business that have more than 100 years of history, starting with automotive components manufacturing to manufacturing of 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers, and then eventually growing into a supply chain solutions space as well. Today, TVS Supply Chain Solutions is operating across 30 countries. We work with more than 3,000 suppliers globally, 18,000 employees, and managing more than 2 million parts globally, and with across 10 million square feet of warehouse space. So it is a fast-growing division and a flagship company of the TVS Group. These are the core lines of our business. We segregate our business into 3 lines of business: integrated supply chain solutions, global forwarding solutions, and last mile solutions. In integrated supply chain solutions, we focus on providing manufacturing support, warehousing solutions, part management solutions, and engineering services. Global forwarding, we are headquarters in Singapore here, which is where I'm based, and we are providing core services on international freight forwarding, customs clearance, and freight management solutions. And then finally, for last mile solutions, we provide spare parts, logistics, service engineering, support services as well. So there's so much about the company and the commercials. Now moving on to the core of our presentation. The pandemic has definitely, I think as a lot of the speakers and the panel has spoken about, has definitely revealed some underlying cracks in our supply chain, especially global supply chain, and also accelerated some of the shifts that have taken place over the years. What are these impacts? Right. The first one is the increased focus on supply chain resilience. I think the the COVID pandemic has exposed us first with supply shocks, right? We have stoppages in our manufacturing facilities, and then leading to demand shorts because of a surge in demand, in particular in certain product categories. And then with the lockdown, there is surge in demands in products that enable digital work. And then which led to supply chain transportation disruptions because of the lack of synchronization in the supply chain and bottlenecks in international transportation routes. So all this has exposed the cracks in supply chains, in our supply chains today. So hence, one of the new normal in the supply chain is about resiliencies, is how we build resiliencies in our supply chain through diversification, through greater visibility, and then through more coordination and management of the various partners that we have in the supply chain. The second impact the pandemic has on our supply chain is the customer demand and expectations, right? Customers' expectations and preferences have changed, right? So customers have adopted more digital sales. There are new touch points in our supply chain for the customers, and digital functionalities and value-added services such as product education, research, online support are becoming differentiators in our space. Finally, as many of the speakers or panelists have spoken about, it has also accelerated digitalization and highlighted the importance of technology in our business. The pandemic is the tipping point for digital disruptions and technology adoption. It impacts not just the customers, but it impacts across the supply chain and across all our internal functions as well. And there is an increased change in mindset and spending on technology and digital initiatives, right? It is definitely a hot topic and something that will continue for the foreseeable future. So these are the few significant impacts that we have identified in the COVID effects on the supply chain. So how can your supply chain be future ready for the new normal? I think in the first panel, the discussion was around supply chain changes. Supply chain has never been static. I think with my experience of over 20 years in this industry, it has always been about constant change. But what the pandemic has caused is an accelerated change that has happened. And with that, there's really a need to review the changes that have taken place and the impact it has on our business. There is a need to re-engineer our supply chain. Supply chain design is all about trade-offs, right? It is trade-offs between lean versus inventory. It is about local versus global sourcing. It is about multiple depots versus single DC. It is about service versus industry. There are trade-offs, and there is a need to review and redesign your supply chain based on the changes in our business, changes in the customer's demands and expectations. And how do we do that? You know, you could do that internally with your own resources, or you can work with external partners, whether it is consultant companies or solutions providers like DVS, SES. We do offer consulting services that is built on our core competencies of integrated supply chain solutions, global forwarding solutions, and last mile. It is something that is not new. It is something that we have recognized as an important value add of a supply chain solutions and a provider. And we have been doing this for decades. And it is an opportunity, and we are seeing a lot more demand from our customers and potential partners and in engaging us to help re-engineer and review their supply chain. Secondly, customer demands and adoption of digital channels. There is no doubt a shift towards e-commerce. And it's not just about B2C, it's B2B commerce. And in our business, e-commerce is not about selling our products on Amazon, on Taobao. It is enabling a transaction between a buyer and a seller. It could be e-commerce of a finished product. It could be e-commerce of a aftermarket parts, right? So there are different parts of our supply chain that could be shifting towards e-commerce, and we should be able to leverage on this opportunity and be ahead of our competition to drive e-commerce. And e-commerce is not just about the e-shops, which is what you see here on the image to the right. All the features of an e-shop that enable that transaction, that customer experience. What is actually more important than the e-shop is what's powering the front end of this experience, and that is the product data management. In our view, e-commerce, the complexity of e-commerce is the bigger part of this iceberg that is beneath the water, and that is the product data management. Many companies today are unable or have challenge in digitizing product data that is not developed from a digital domain in the beginning. How do you digitize such product data with the enriching the attributes that you need in an e-commerce world? The product data management solutions that we have is a key differentiator. It is something that enables a disciplined workflow management in digitizing the product data, enabling full traceability of product changes, version controls, managing obsolescence with automated integration to the front-end e-commerce platform. Today, our product data management system is utilized to manage more than 1.3 million products worldwide, and is used across all our business. I have a case study on an e-commerce solution that has been developed over the past 15 years for an aftermarket parts division of an automotive company. If you look at the bottom right part of the slide, the product data that is being managed through these solutions covers over 55,000 live items, 13,000 bills of materials, over 50,000 drawings, and different models and derivatives of those models over the past decades. It is not new. It is something that we have developed over the years and improved on over the years. And as technology advances, the features and the functionalities of those solutions are also developed. So today, this customer of ours, who has been with us for more than 20 years, has increased their market share from 25% to 65% in the after-sales markets space that they are in. And we provide not just the digital aftermarket service, but we now also partner with them to own the inventory and manage the inventory on behalf of the customer. So that's the evolution of an e-commerce solution that started from an electronic product catalog all the way to e-commerce solution that is with joint partnership in terms of inventory ownership. Finally, I think you can't talk about being ready for the future without being ready with the right technology and the partner. The future of supply chains is digital and autonomous. It is about connecting It's about integrating, as the previous panels have said, and it is about having an integrated system that is able to be deployed across your businesses and support all the key business processes. We believe that an IT system and architecture that is modular but integratable, easily integrating across different processes is a differentiator, is a foundation for the new normal supply chain. And some of these modules are meant to be enabler for some of the processes, business processes like e-commerce, like ERP, product data, cybersecurity. There is no one size fits all or one provider that can handle all. It is about choosing the right solution based on your business priorities and requirements. And it is, I think I heard Indranil mention earlier today, it's also about starting small, proving that it works, and then scaling it up. To be ready for the new normal supply chain, it is about choosing the right technology and a partner. And I think Roland mentioned earlier just now, is also about prioritizing your spend, right? There are competing areas of spend in our business today, spending on manufacturing capacity or spending on digitalization. I think it is about picking the right technology, the right area in your business processes to invest in those technology. So really the takeaway I have in this short presentation for everyone, and I would love to discuss with you over lunch, is to be ready for the new normal. I think there are three things we should work on. One is reviewing and re-engineering a supply chain, investing in e-commerce in different segments of your business, and then choosing the right technology and partner. And we are here to help as a niche and specialized supply chain solutions provider. We are here to partner you as you make your change, as you develop your supply chain in the evolving world. Thanks a lot.
We do have a few minutes for questions. If you have questions for
Mark.
speaker. Mark, yes, we have more questions up here. You go to the center microphone.
I'm with the assignments. Yes, just a quick question. What do you mean by aftermarket parts? I don't get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So basically, it's spare parts.
Spare parts, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if after a vehicle is sold and the parts that are being used to service and repair your equipment or your vehicle, etc.
Okay, because I have a friend, he's looking to revive his almost dead company. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so
Well, I'll speak to you later. Thanks.
thank you. Thank you.